As President Trump approaches his 100th day in office, a new ABC News poll shows he has the lowest approval rating at this milestone of any president within inside of the last 80 years. The poll, also produced with the Washington Post and Ipsos, finding just 39% of Americans approve of the job he's done so far. Meantime, more Americans are losing faith in President Trump's promise for economic turnaround. 72% say it's likely the president's recent policy changes will plunge our nation into a recession. 72%. So let's discuss this with our political panel. Joining me now is contributor and editor of the National Review, Ramesh Ponnuru, along with Democratic strategist Julie Rogensky. Ramesh, I want to begin with you. Trump ran, as you know, on the promise to fix the economy. What does he need to do in order to make that translate for Americans? And I guess the first thing would be perhaps deal with the trade war that he's started. But what after that?
Yeah, well, I do think that is absolutely essential. Finding a way to declare victory and end the trade war, I think, would be an absolutely positive step for him. And then beyond that, not pressuring Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve to slack off in the fight against inflation. I think people would be enormously relieved if he did those things. There are other things that the polls are telling him on other issues, but on the economy, I think it is tariffs, tariffs, tariffs.
Julie, despite having the lowest 100-day approval rating, as we said, of any president in the last 80 years, Trump still beats the Democrats in Congress in trust to handle the nation's main problems. Now, if his numbers stay this way, that will probably begin to change. But overall, what does it say about A, where the Democrats are at, and B, where the disconnect is?
Congress have no idea how to communicate effectively, with a few subtle exceptions of 5 or 6 people I can name. But Democrats desperately need a better communication model. They've needed it for the last several years. I will say, however, midterm elections tend to be a referendum on the incumbent party and the incumbent president. And right now, Washington is uniformly controlled by MAGA, not just by Republicans, but by the MAGA wing of the Republican Party. That also includes the Supreme Court, by the way. So based on all of that, I think this is not shaping up to be a very good midterm election for the president. I think Ramesh is absolutely right that there are things that the president can do to potentially turn the economic situation around, but it is so outside his own personality to do any of those things, to backtrack on tariffs, to backtrack on threats against Jerome Powell and others who are controlling monetary policy, that I think it's almost impossible that he's going to do any of those things. And don't forget, these numbers are the way they are, or the tariffs actually hit. They're going to hit in the next week or two, and that's really when the pain's going to begin.
All right. Well, we'll be watching. Ramesh Ponnuru, Julie Rogensky, thank you both. Good to see you on this Sunday.